Have you ever bought a plane ticket several months in advance and the price was many times cheaper? Or have you ever come across that some stores have a certain discount for students? However, if we had bought that plane ticket a few days before the flight, it would have been much more expensive than the previous price. In another example, if an ordinary person, not a student, shops at that store, discount will not apply to him. The topic we will talk about in this video is setting different prices for the same product and service to different groups of people at different times for different quantities, which is common in business. This approach, which is called price discrimination in economics, is a sales strategy. As a first impression, this term may not sound positive to many people. In fact, price discrimination has its pros and cons. Let's now look at some examples of price discrimination and their pros and cons. For example, this strategy is widely used in the supply of electricity, gas, water, which is a natural monopoly. For example, up to a certain limit, lower rate is calculated, and as consumption increases, the rate also increases. In this case, price discrimination is based on the quantity used by people. Thus, people try to use sparingly, which in itself brings efficiency. As we know, knowing that most of the energy resources are depletable, the economical use of these resources by people brings efficiency to both people and the state. There are some universities in Europe where students with low family income can study free of charge. It even happens that although the student is a foreign citizen, because of the low family income, that student can get free education. On the other hand, because his own citizen is from a high-income family, he is forced to get paid education. This situation is useful for the general society. That is, every student can study regardless of their financial situation. If we look at the scenario from the opposite point of view, if that foreign or local student, it doesn't matter. Because of low family income, he would be left out despite his potential. Thus, the loser will be both those students who cannot get an education due to their financial situation, and the society or the state that cannot take advantage of those potentials. We also saw from the example of this university that price discrimination brought general benefits. So, what are the negative aspects of price discrimination? For example, the high price of plane tickets at certain times may be expensive for a group of people buying at that time. It should be noted that price discrimination can be beneficial for the general economy and welfare if applied within certain norms. A pharmaceutical company called GSK sells the drug Combivir for about $12 to $13 in Europe and America, while in Africa this figure was much lower, namely 50 cents. Such pricing was clear price discrimination. But what caused it? The first reason is that he took this step for humanitarian purposes, and the second reason was that it was the only average price to enter the African market. Thus, the company increased its income, because the standard of living and the purchasing power of currencies are low in Africa. In this case, there was a problem that the pharmaceutical company faced: drug smugglers. Smugglers saw this as an opportunity and tried to buy those drugs in Africa and sell them at a higher price in Europe. In conclusion, as we have seen, price discrimination has both positive and negative aspects. What is important is that this approach should be made to the right population group, at the right time, and in the right product. In this case, both companies and people will be useful.